What is going on? Actually, fan 4 here with Xavier today, and today we have some news, Minnesota sports news that's been happening these past few days. So many of them may know or not know that the Minnesota Wild star Kroger Kaprizov will be out 3 to 4 weeks with a lower body injury. What that means in Minnesota? Well, for starters, they're gonna be out with a star player for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and saw them. This is the highlight of it. I looking at Logan said put his most of his body weight on him when he was like leaning forward to like finish that check or hit. I think I gotta look at it again, but I think he should get fined or suspended. I'm not just saying that I'm a Minnesota Wild fan. I'm saying that for the safety of players, if you literally do that on purpose, like for example, like Ryan Reese did that to Brody and Suter in the playoffs, he got suspended for the whole next round. So I think they should do something with Logan Stanley. But like I said earlier, that the Minnesota will be out without Kaprizov for 3 to 4 weeks after the win over Winnipeg, and the just defenseman Logan Stanley did that. So I think, and then after that, so the Wild we call forward Sammy Walker from AHL Iowa. And so let's look at the Kaprizov stats. So Kaprizov stats this season looks it's now another good year for Kaprizov. 39 goals, 35 assists, 74 points, and he played 65 games. He's gonna be out 3 to 4 weeks. So most likely he's not gonna get the 100 points this season. However, you cannot hold that against him. He in his career already has 113 goals, 120 assists, 233 points in his career, and he's putting in another great year in Minnesota, and he's helping this team win games. He only had 6 game-winning goals this season, 14 in his career, and he is a heck of an all-star for Minnesota Wild. We didn't have this much talent like Kaprizov in a while, so I'm not worried about missing the playoffs. So this is the Minnesota Wild standing at. So they're saying currently second place in the division, just 2 points back from Dallas. They were like, I think maybe like seven, between like I think like 7, 8 points back from Dallas a few games ago, and now they're picking more wins, getting more points. They're 9-0-2 in the last 7 games. They got points in each of the last 11 games. That's 20 points out of the 22 points they could have earned. And they're really good at home. They're good on the away, but I'd like to see a couple more wins on the road. 17 games left. I think it would be in good shape of making the playoffs. However, if you look at the wild card to give like a better understanding what the thing is, Boston is most likely gonna get the President Trophy. But here's the wild card looks like. So we're just 2 points back from first place. And then the top two teams in the wild card are Edmonton and Winnipeg. So the Wild is sitting in good shape. But as you may know, the Minnesota Vikings are making some moves. They released Eric Kendricks. They just released a hometown Adam Thielen as he cannot reach a deal trying to restructure his contract. And they just released Cam Dantzler. Now they also received some trade talks about Dalvin Cook. They didn't know they're not released too much news about. I think it's come from Miami Dolphins. So this is going to close some cast. I do understand why they're doing. They need to close some cast space, and also they want to make sure they lock up Justin Jefferson. I think you should need to lock up this guy early than later because you want to make sure you keep this guy around instead of wait because he has 2 years left of his rookie contract, his fourth year and his fifth year, but the fifth year is his option. So they extend him like right now before the season begins, like a extend 7 years. That's 9 years left in Minnesota with his contract now. So that'd be cool. However, well, now let's go back to Alan Thielen's situation. It's kind of see it like a hometown Alan Thielen to go. He got released for the Vikings that they could not reach a deal. I understand that as a business standpoint, they need to do what they need to do, try to throw more money up. But Alan Thielen there's so much for the state, so much for his community. I'm glad that we have a player like Alan Thielen. And the only thing that Mike Zimmer did right when he was here as a head coach is trust Alan Thielen on offense. So this past season, 70 receptions, 716 yards, 6 touchdowns. Remember he was a red zone threat too. In his career, 534 receptions, 6,682 yards, and 55 touchdowns in his career. And all of his 9 year tenure is in Minnesota. It's so great to have like a Minnesota native play either most or all of his career in Minnesota. Like we said with Joe Mauer, he played all his 15 years in the state of Minnesota. We see Larry Fitzgerald. We wish we could have got him for his last year in his NFL career, but now the Minnesota native, but he played for the Arizona Cardinals for this whole year career. And it's not like it's very unheard of to see Minnesota natives play mostly or all the career or even play even 1 year in the state, the hometown state. It's very unheard of to hear that. But honestly, the Minnesota Vikings are making moves. I won't be surprised if we trade Dalvin Cook away. It, but Anderson Madison wants to start as well. But they were trying to want to like Kirk Cousins. I don't know what his situation is. I think he's gonna be let go as well as in his this year. So that's even more money. And then who knows? We could lock up Cox in next year as well. Very longer period. But we gotta wait for now because there's be a lot more moves left to come in this organization. I'm so excited for this future. I think we're gonna get Anthony Richardson out of Florida, the quarterback Richardson. I think he's gonna be good for us in our organization, but he's proven himself. What we saw in the combine was good, and the Minnesota Timberwolves lost. So the Minnesota Timberwolves are in the playoffs as well. And let's look at the standings. I'm gonna pull my phone out here. Let's look at the standings. Yes, the Minnesota Gophers lost the second round of the Big Ten tournament. They're officially out. They were even out of contention in the March Madness. So even though they would have won the Big Ten tournament, they were not able to make into the Big Dance. So let's see where the Minnesota T-Puffs are at sitting, and they played tonight as well against the Brooklyn Nets. So they're sitting at 7th in the playoff round with a 34-33 record, and they're basically 500 last 10 games. I really hope they make the playoffs. I think they will. And yeah, there's so much in it. So I think we could be another team like last year that were the best 7th seed coming into the playoffs. But we'll find out. So that was it for the Minnesota sports. What's been happening the past few days. Al Thielen got released. Eric Kendricks got released. Dalvin Cook is in trade talk, sounds like. Cam Dantzler got released. Caprice will be out for 3 to 4 weeks due to the low ball injury on Logan Stanley's hit. Um, And yeah, that would do the sports of these past few days. The Minnesota Golden Gophers is out. Playoff the tournament contention. We all know that like a couple weeks back, and they lost in the second round of the Big Ten tournament. And Lindsey Whalen stepped down as a head coach of the Gophers. And yeah, so a lot of this is happening these past few days, few weeks. Anything can happen. I hope Kaprizov comes back soon. Sooner than 3 to 4 weeks, we'll find out. I do believe he'll be back for the playoffs. I think he will be coming back for the last few games before the regular season ends, and hopefully, Carl Anthony Towns comes back few games in the regular season just in time for the playoffs, and I hope the Timberwolves hopefully they can make a deep run in the playoffs as well. That will do this time around when in the sports world will be happening in the Minnesota sports. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Deuces.